Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel Case 23 where we decode forensic science in the most easiest way. So if you are new here, my name is Munjyoti Nath and I am a core member in Case 23. So today we will be discussing one of the important topic, and I'll be saying it is a part topic of handwriting analysis, and that is handwriting comparison standards and role of exemplars in forensic analysis. Now, I know it sounds a little technical or maybe little difficult, but don't worry, I'll break it down in the most simplest and engaging way as possible. Just like when you are listening to your friend explaining something in a chai tapri. Got it right? Okay, jokes aside. So, whether you are a student of forensic science or someone just curious about forensic science, or maybe someone who has just watched a few crime shows and thought, how do they even figure out who wrote the letter or who wrote the note? So this video is for you. So let's get started. So before moving forward into the video, let me give you a brief on what all topics we'll be discussing in this video. So first we'll understand what exactly is handwriting comparison, which also I have said in previous videos, but I'll just give you a brief. And also why handwriting comparison is such an important tool in forensic science. Also in between, let me give you a reminder that to understand what exactly is handwriting analysis, you can go through my previous videos which I've explained each and every details about handwriting analysis and also question documents. Okay, then coming to the next topic, then we will talk about handwriting exemplars. So handwriting exemplars are nothing but the writing samples that experts use to match and compare. Okay, then after that we'll look at the standards of reliable analysis. Now there are some standards that needs to be followed because forensic is all about following proper methods. Then we will also discuss the importance of those standards, why do they matter in legal cases and also in real life investigations. And then we'll move on to the merits of handwriting exemplars in forensic science. And finally, we will also touch on the demerits because, like every method, this too has its own limitations. So stay with me till the end because each part builds on the other. So if you skip any part, you may not able to understand the whole video. So please stick with me. So let us first start with the first topic, that is what is handwriting comparison. So in simple words, handwriting comparison is the scientific study of a person's handwriting to figure out whether they wrote a particular document or not. Now, this process involves closely examining unique features or patterns in a writing. It may be like the way someone forms their letters, the slant, the spacing, meaning the gap between two letters or maybe two words, the loops, like the way they curve their G, the small letter G, or maybe Y or J, or the pressure of the pen, and so on. There can be different factors. So no two people exactly write the same. Yes, this is a fact that no two people can write exactly the same. Even identical twins will have different handwriting based on the environment. These all topics I have explained in my previous video. And that's what makes this method, that is handwriting comparison, so useful in forensic work. So what do forensic experts actually do? Now they compare the question document. It is the document they may find in the crime scene, or they may be asked to come analyze. So that is the question document or question handwriting. Now this question document could be from a ransom note or maybe suicide letter or forged check. So this question writing will be compared with a known sample from a suspect. And by studying the small details, they try to determine whether the same person write both or they both are different handwriting. Now, this kind of analysis is very important in legal investigations, including both criminal and as well as civil, because it can help prove the authenticity of a document or identify who the real writer of the document is. Okay, then moving on to the next topic, which is the main part of this video, That is handwriting exemplars. So you might be wondering what exactly are handwriting exemplars. So let me give you a small and easy example. Okay, let me tell you, you found one document in a crime scene, and an eyewitness says or a relative says that this handwriting belongs to an X person. I'm naming that person X. So to match the handwriting with the certain X person, you have to take the original or known handwriting of that X person as a reference sample, so that you can match both the samples and analyze them, so that you can give the result that yes, these both handwriting are the same, or they are both different handwritings. So that reference sample or the known sample collected from X person is known as exemplar. So in forensic handwriting analysis, exemplars are nothing but writing samples that are already known to belong to a specific person. And these samples are very important because they are used as a reference point, as I've already said, to compare with the handwriting on a question document, like maybe a suspicious letter or check or contract or anything that has handwriting in it. So if any investigator have a piece of any handwriting or document and they want to know did this person really write it, so they will take a reference sample, that is the exemplar. Okay, now there are two main types of exemplars. It can be requested exemplars or collected exemplars. So requested exemplars are writing samples that are collected on demand, specifically for forensic purposes. Let's say someone is suspected of writing a fake signature. So they will be asked to write certain words or sentences under controlled conditions. This way, examiners can make a proper and reliable comparison. The next type is collected exemplars. These are samples that already exist, like old notebooks, forms, applications, greeting cards, or even signed receipts. Basically, anything the person wrote during their day to day life without knowing it would be in an investigation. Now, both these types are very useful, but collected exemplars are more often considered natural because the person was not trying to fake or hide their writing style. Yes, obviously, because in requested exemplars, the writer may try to imitate or fake his handwriting, whereas in collected exemplars, since the writer has already wrote those samples, so there is no chance of any fake or forgery. I know you have heard the quote, with great power comes great responsibility, and that is somewhat similar to forensic science. So there are standards in each and every aspect of forensic science for reliable and easy analysis. So in handwriting analysis, there are also some standards which the forensic analyst or the handwriting expert needs to follow those standards. Also, there are things that needs to be remembered, like handwritings can change slightly depending on mood, speed, or even the pen we are using, and that may lead to different factors. So that's why forensic experts follow certain standards to make sure that comparison is fair, accurate, and trustworthy. So there are some basic and essential standards. The first one is sufficient quantity. Now you can just judge someone's handwriting from just one or two words. Experts need enough samples to observe natural variations in the person's handwriting style. For example, the way someone writes the letter G might look a little different every time. Yes, this happens with me and I can relate to it. And that's completely normal. And the second is similar conditions. Now, to get the most accurate results, the exemplars should be written using the same type of pen, the same paper has to be used, and the same environment as the question document. This helps remove differences that might caused by the writing tool or the surface. And the third is contemporaneous writing. Now, time also plays a crucial role here because handwriting from 10 years ago might look quite different from today. So it is best to use samples from around the same time the question document was written. For example, if the question document was written in the year 2020 during COVID, as of now it is 2025. The forensic experts or the handwriting experts must use a known document or exemplar that is from 2020 itself. He can't use a document that is from 2025. The fourth point is natural style. Now, the handwriting must be natural and spontaneous, not copied or forced or written slowly on purpose. If someone is trying to disguise the handwriting, it becomes harder to get a reliable match. Then the fifth point is multiple writing situations. Now, experts collect samples from different types of document. It can be signatures or full sentences or even casual notes. Now, this helps capture a variety of handwriting styles the person naturally uses in real life. Then the sixth point is comparable content. Finally, the samples should include similar letters, words, or numbers as the question document. Now, if the question document contains a range of numbers and if the exemplar contains words, is of no use. So, similar content should be written. So, let me give you an easy example. Now, if the suspicious document contains the word banana, so the exemplar should ideally include the word or at least the same letters so a direct comparison is possible. So when the standards are followed, the analysis becomes more reliable and can stand up to scrutiny, especially in court. Okay, so I've given you a lot of standards that needs to be followed while analyzing a question handwriting or question document. But why? Why standards do matter? I mean, can't we just look at two handwriting samples and decide if they match? Well, not really, because in forensic science, even the smallest mistake can have a serious consequences. And that's why following proper standards is absolutely essential. Now let me break it down for you. The first is accuracy. So when experts follow proper standards like collecting enough samples and matching the writing conditions, the analysis becomes more accurate. This can reduce the chance of misidentification or any error where someone innocent might wrongly be connected to a document. Then the reliability. Yes, using correct procedures makes the comparison more trustworthy. It helps ensure that the findings are based on actual handwriting characteristics and not guesswork or surface level similarities. Then legal validity. So if the result of any question document analysis or any handwriting analysis has to reach a court, it has to be legally valid. Since in court evidence has to meet strict rules. If the handwriting analysis was done without following proper standards, the entire evidence can be thrown out. But when standards are followed, the expert's opinion becomes admissible and stronger in court. Then at last, detection of forgery or disguise. Now standards also help in spotting signs of forgery or disguised writing. Let me give you an example. If someone tries to change their style or try to fake another person's signature, a careful standard-based analysis can catch those clues. So that's why standards really matters in forensic science. Okay, then let's talk about the merits and demerits of handwriting exemplars. First, I will talk about the merits, then I will move forward to demerits. So these handwriting samples plays a big role or huge role in forensic science by helping experts solve real life cases. So I will explain with some points. The first one is identify the writer. So exemplars allow forensic experts directly compare the questioned handwriting with known samples. Now what do they really do here? They look at specific features like the shape of letters, the length of writing, the spacing between two words or maybe letters, or even how much pressure is applied. Now all these details help in identifying whether the both handwriting came from the same person or different. And the second is it shows natural variations. So while writing, we all have slight changes in our handwriting every time we write. Maybe the S is more rounded in a certain document, or maybe it is bit sharper in the another. And that's totally normal. By collecting multiple exemplars, experts can understand these natural variations, analyze them also, and tell them apart from attempts to disguise or fake handwriting. Then the third point is it is accepted as legal evidence. So when exemplars are collected properly, that is following all the correct standards, they are considered valid forensic evidence in court. They support expert testimony in many cases like forgery, anonymous threats, fake wills, or maybe disputed documents, and etc. So with advantages, there are also disadvantages of exemplars. So we will talk about that now. Because like any forensic method, this also to have some challenges. The first challenge is the person may try to fake or maybe disguise their handwriting. Now one of the biggest issue is when the person intentionally changes their writing during sample collection. If they know the handwriting will be analyzed, they may slow down or maybe add fake strokes or even try to copy someone else's handwriting or the style of writing. Now this kind of disguise make it hard for experts to get an accurate match because handwriting no longer reflects their real and the natural style of their own. Then the second point is writing conditions might differ. The environment and the tools used while collecting exemplars may not match the conditions under which the question document is written. For example, if the question note was written in a hurry using a ballpoint pen on a rough paper, but instead the exemplar was written slowly with a gel pen on a smooth paper, so the conditions are completely different. So these are noticeable differences. And even the writer's emotional state or posture can affect how the handwriting was written and how it looks. Then the third point is limited or low quality samples. Sometimes investigators may only have access to a few known samples or the ones available that are maybe blurred or incomplete or maybe damaged. For example, an old shopping list or a faded receipt. Now, if the quality is poor, it becomes difficult to observe fine details like the pressure, the line quality, or maybe the stroke direction, which are crucial for analysis. And the final point is the handwriting changes over time. It can be yours, mine's, or everyone's handwriting changes over time. Also, health, age, or injury can cause a person's handwriting to change over the time. A simple handwriting written 10 years ago might look very different today due to aging, arthritis, medication, or even a hand injury. And if the known and questioned samples are not from the same time period, it can lead to confusion and accurate comparisons. So coming to the end of our video, let me give a brief on what we have discussed in this video today. So handwriting comparison is truly a valuable tool in forensic science. It helps in verifying the authenticity of a document and even try to identify who actually wrote it. But to get accurate and trustworthy results, it is important to follow proper standards and also use reliable handwriting exemplars. This helps experts carry out the analysis scientifically and not just based on guesswork. And yes, handwriting exemplars has many advantages like it can help detect forgery and provide strong legal evidence. But at the same time, we must also be aware of the limitations like disguised handwriting or changing the conditions of how the handwriting was written or maybe poor quality samples. That's why both careful collection and expert examinations are a key to making sure that the analysis holds up in the court and contributes to justice. Okay, before we end our video, there are some questions, basically 5 questions, which you can try and give the right answer in the comment section. You can pause the video and try out the questions. Okay, so that is the end of our video. And thank you for watching the whole video. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe our channel for more such forensic content. Until then, stay safe, stay aware. Bye bye.